Hi there moviegoers, welcome back to Deweys Movie Reviews. Thank you for tuning in again and get ready for review number 3.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
First rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
I am Iron Man.
Why so serious?
Dear Lord, let your holy angel be with me, that the evil foe may have no power over me. Into your hands I commend myself, my body, and soul. Amen.
Greyhound is a World War II thriller, no doubt. It's set in 1942. We've got Tom Hanks as the main character. He's a captain of one of the destroyers, and his job is to escort a lot of the supply ships across the Atlantic in order to get those much needed supplies to the British, I believe. Now, this movie did remind me a lot of a movie that came out in the early 2000s called U-571, which had Matt McConaughey as the main character. And in that movie, the guys had to basically hijack a Nazi submarine in order to get a very specific code right, I believe it was called the Enigma code, in order to basically intercept Nazi U-boats and messages to change the course of the war.
Fire! Take fire right now, we die! Das ist ein Torpedo!
Tom Hanks is definitely no stranger to the World War II genre. He was involved in the Band of Brothers series that came out in the early 2000s, and of course the 1998 war movie that changed the game for all war movies in my opinion, which was Saving Private Ryan. Now, I didn't see Private Ryan at the movies, I saw it just on a normal family TV, and I still remember to this day the effect that movie had on me watching that opening scene, along with the stories that I've heard as well, that when veterans from World War II went and watched the movie in the cinema, they had to walk out of it because it was just way too realistic, that opening scene, and of course the rest of the movie as well.
8 seconds! Got me with you!
Forward side stick, starboard side stick. Move fast and clear those murder holes.
Want to see plenty of beef between men. 5 men to shoot the opportunity. 1 man's a waste of ammo.
Stand out of your weapons. Keep those actions clear. I'll see you on the beach.
Now, Greyhound is by no means on the same level as Saving Private Ryan, and I believe that no other war movie that has come out since that movie can match up with that particular film. However, it is a very good installment in the World War II movie genre as a whole, because we haven't seen a movie like this where it takes the aspect of the American destroyer versus the Nazi U-boats. So you can only imagine the fear and the anxiety that these sailors would have felt when they're crossing the Atlantic, to basically have no idea where these U-boats are. Only thing that really gives them any warning is their very basic radar back in the day, and that would have been a true terror on the open seas.
Air escort to Greyhound. You will now be out of range of air cover for the next 5 days. Safe travels to England. How many crossings does this make?
This was my first.
I got some.
Most likely a U-boat.
He's trying to slip under us! Fire!
We have a kill.
Now, the character development in this movie is fine. Tom Hanks does a pretty good role as the captain of the destroyer. We are introduced to some love interest that he has at the start of the film, but I feel it's quite irrelevant. It does feel a bit forced. The crew of the ship, they do a pretty good job as well, but we're mainly focused on Tom and how he's getting across the Atlantic and not only trying to save the lives of his own crew, but also the ships and the crew he's escorting in the Nazi-infested waters that is the Atlantic.
In 48 hours, we've lost 7 ships and 50 souls.
What you did yesterday got us to today.
It's not enough. Not nearly enough. Fires, baby!
I feel films like this are very effective, especially when we've got the main characters all shoved into a very claustrophobic area like a warship, or like U-571, we're in the bows of the submarine that's all written in German and everyone's doing their utmost to stay alive. You can see the anxiety and the stress levels really rise to the top. Or even films like Fury with Brad Pitt, which focuses on an American Sherman tank crew and they have to do their best to survive in the dying weeks of World War II. I really enjoy war movies that add the psychological effect to them. If you caught the movie Dunkirk a couple of years ago, the opening scene is pretty impactful when the soldiers are walking down the street and from the sky it starts raining pamphlets. One of the soldiers picks them up and it basically says, "We surround you," as the English got pushed back into the sea basically from the Germans during World War II. And we actually see a very similar scene in Greyhound where we've got Tom Hanks and the crew minding their own business, and then all of a sudden a very demon-like Nazi voice comes over the airways and tells them good luck surviving the night. So that's a nice little touch. Thank you.
Target's disappeared, sir.
Greyhound, good luck surviving the night.
Here they come.
Like a lot of films in 2020, Greyhound ran into a fair few production issues due to the coronavirus pandemic, just like A Quiet Place Part 2 did, and of course the new James Bond movie that's yet to hit the silver screen and has experienced multiple delays. So after viewing the trailer for Greyhound, I was pretty pumped to see it in the theaters. However, they did an exclusive deal with Apple TV, so members got to enjoy the movie in the comfort of their own home, just like I did via my home theater system that can pump when it needs to. So would I put this movie on par with the likes of Saving Private Ryan? No. Is this movie as good as Fury with Brad Pitt? No. Would I put this movie on par with the likes of Dunkirk and 1917? Yes. I feel this movie stacks up pretty well against those movies. The runtime on it is about an hour and a half, so it's not overly long for a war epic, but it's a very enjoyable film, pretty action-packed. Tom Hanks does an amazing job as always, and the verdict is, I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen. However, it's definitely worth watching on Apple TV, and if it was available on Blu-ray or 4K, I probably would buy it because it's a pretty good story. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining in for my third review. We appreciate the follows, the likes, and the comments. So stay tuned, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.
What are we gonna do?
We'll rain hell down from on high.